practice?
Yes, sir. What's going on?
Not much. How you doing? Welcome back.
Feels like it's been a while. All right, y'all go ahead.
Trey, just starting with Pittsburgh first, what do you see on film about their defense that you feel like might be the biggest challenge going into?
Yeah, they're physical. They're all veterans. It's a lot of redshirt, juniors and seniors. They play a lot of football. We've seen them, last year on tape. Have that game to look at, and then see them throughout the year. They got, kind of, an elite player on each level with defense, and like I said, they're experienced and got a lot of guys that fill the box, so it's gonna be tough to run the ball. I also feel like we need to do some things to try to move the ball and still have some effective runs and passes. So just excited. Should be a good one Saturday.
We just talked to Elijah, and he had 2 big touchdowns against Duke. What's your kind of relationship with him, or what do you kind of know about him as a player that's kind of stood out for you in the last couple of weeks of practice?
No, yeah, he's a grinder. He's a guy, a teammate that anybody wants to have. A couple of weeks ago, he's working on the scout team. I heard he goes up there with Coach Means, Natron Means, the assistant running back coach, and he used to watch scout film, see how he could get better. So he's just one of those guys. He's a hard worker, and ended up paying off, and he's going to help us. And he's just an elite runner. He's got speed, he can break some tackles. And he's worked his butt off. Every day he's catching balls after practice because his hands haven't been the best part of his game, but he's working at it and just continue to work on getting better. It's showing.
Drake, what are Josh and Antoine like in the huddle? Like, are they, are they always open receivers? Like, are they telling you, look for me on this and that kind of stuff, or are they more just soldier-like and just come in and do their business?
Yeah, I think so there's some point of time where they have a certain look with the corner or a certain route where they feel like they're getting them on. Then they'll come back to the huddle and tell me. But they're not like, you missed me, I was open. They're not those type of guys. They're great. They're just trying to help the team win. That's their main focus. And obviously they love when the ball is in their hands, and they're great playmakers. So no, they're not kind of getting on me, at least yet. So, they'll talk to me if they're seeing something that I'm not.
Have you ever had a teammate cause a fumble before?
No. That stuff happens in practice sometimes. That's not on Caleb at all. I gotta, we call it clearance footwork. I gotta get out of the way, especially with, it's an RPO with the running back on the right side throwing left. It's that same thing with the arm action. It's gonna hit his arm. It's happened in practice. It's something we drill in practice. It's not Caleb's fault. It's something.
It appears to the common eye that that's sort of a fluke thing, but you're saying there's something you can learn from what happened.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's not a common thing in practice, but it's happened before. It's happened to me here before. I think maybe in a scrimmage, maybe my freshman year. So it's something that I got to be cognizant of, and just got to be like the little things before plays. I think I can do a better job of kind of thinking about that stuff and prevent some of those mistakes.
Drake, from the Charlotte TV station, people are awfully proud of this journey of yours. Just big picture, how would you describe the first year of taking the reins for North Carolina football?
Yeah, it's his dream come true. Especially putting on for Charlotte and my hometown and my home high school. Just trying to do whatever I can to create a good representation. And Charlotte's got good football, so just glad to be able to represent that. And it's been a little eye-opening, just with on such a big stage. And it's only gonna get bigger from here. We just gotta keep winning games. So we got a lot of work to do. But it's been a blessing. So
to that point, it's an accomplishment to become the starter and become a feature player for a home state school. But then your name starts being mentioned among the best quarterbacks, and your numbers certainly match that. Has that been surreal to you? I know you're a confident guy, but to be in the Heisman conversation.
Oh yeah, I don't know about all that. It's credit to my teammates. Without them, I'm just sitting over here not doing anything as a quarterback. So, I think all those accolades and awards come with just winning. So just trying to keep my head straight and keep winning games, and that stuff will take care of itself.
One more for me. What has been the most rewarding part?
Most rewarding part? I think just winning. Just for me, just winning. There's nothing like, Sundays after a win, or, flight back, or bus ride back. Especially, playing here, everybody, ABC, anybody but Carolina. So, everybody's, bringing their best and they want to beat us. So, getting that win, just ultimate, as a competitor, as anybody playing the sport, winning solves everything.
Drake, y'all coming off a bye now, and you've got a 5-game season left here. What's been the message from Mac about, trying to finish out strong and everything?
Yeah, Coach Brown's saying, really hone in, and take care of, first of all, Pitt. But he's just talking about, he's not really trying to get into big picture stuff because we got to handle business. But he also everybody can kind of see kind of the future. We got control our own destiny, and we got a good shot to start that off on the right track here at home. So we're just taking 1 week at a time and taking care of Pitt, who's a good football team, and they're going to get after us in defense. So we're just trying to come ready for Pitt.
Drake, along those lines, just like Charlie said, coming off the bye, I mean, I guess it's an opportunity to kind of hit a reset button in some ways, but like for you personally and for you guys' team goals, just how are you trying to approach these last 5 games? Like you said, with the opportunities that are out there, you're in the poll now. You've probably seen the numbers of how you're favored to win the Coastal, stuff like that. Like, how do you just try to approach this sort of home stretch? Now that you have a little time to sit back and rest.
Yeah, I think it's tough, especially as getting in towards the end of the season, where bowl talks start to get talking, and coastal champs. So I think really just trying to not block it out, but just trying to not make that the main focus. Just trying to make 1 week at a time, and realize if we don't take care of business, then those things can be gone within the snap of a finger. So I think also the bye opportunity to get a chance to heal up. It felt nice having all 5 running backs out there today. So just getting a chance to do that, and just keep honing in the little things. Trying to focus on each after practice stuff, footwork, stuff like that. So.
When we talked to you back in August when you were named the starter, you told us a story about how in one of your classes some people came up to you and kind of gave you an attaboy because you were named the starter. Here you are 2 months later, you're in the conversation for a lot of things, and you've had a lot of national interviews. How is it a challenge for you to process that stuff or swat it away, or how do you handle the added attention where it's not a kid in class anymore, it's national media?
Yeah, I think that's a tough question. I think you mentioned swat away. I wouldn't say swat away, but just kind of just try to blow by it. Usually I just try to take the conversation off myself. I think that's the easiest thing to do. A lot of my classmates have been great though. They've been talking about the games, saying they're coming to the games and stuff. But just trying to kind of take the conversation out of the spotlight off me. That's what I try to do.
Are you uncomfortable with the spotlight?
No, I wouldn't say uncomfortable. I just kind of those questions are just talking about myself. I think just kind of gets old.
A better way to phrase it, you appear a little uncomfortable talking about yourself and accolades and that kind of thing. But processing all that stuff, I'm just kind of curious if you allow yourself any of those moments, or a part of the mission is to not allow any of that to seep through. It's every week you have a new week, a new opponent, a new plan.
Yeah, I think that's tough. Just not let it seep through. Obviously, I hear a lot of things, and I just try to stay focused. But 6-1, I think the big part is getting back on track, getting back in the rankings, and getting Carolina football where it's supposed to be. This train's going, it's not stopping. So we're just ready to come back out after the bye week and forward to starting off with a big win against Pitt.
Drake, why should you win the Heisman? No, I'm just playing.
No,
I'm joking. How do you think you guys can make it different, or how do you want it to be different now that you've got a number, 21 is by your name with the rankings? I mean, you guys were ranked last year and it went off a cliff. How do you think you can make that different and capitalize on that?
Yeah,
as opposed to the way it went last year.
I think the big thing is try not to get too high on our horses, and I think this game of football, it's a game of ups and downs, whether it's within the game or within the season. We're down 7 against Georgia State at their place, or it's tied. I don't remember. I think we were down 7. Yeah. So just we keep finding ways to squeak out, big fourth quarter wins, and I think, like I said, just try not to get too high, and just try to stay humble, and realize, that being in the rankings really means nothing at the end of the day if you don't win this upcoming week. So maybe when you look at them after, the last game in November, then it can mean something.
I'm doing a story on your family ties to the program, so sorry if this seems a little off topic, but being the son of a quarterback, how much did your dad coach you growing up, and how much contact do you guys have during the season regarding football, and what's that camaraderie like?
Oh yeah, my dad was, my first football coach. He was my head coach, when I was in first grade. When I stepped out there playing tackle football and flag and stuff. So he's all been my quarterback coach. He's the first guy I listened to with, the way I throw football, throw mechanics, playing position. He saw some of the same stuff I saw. Obviously, it was a different time back in the day. He was under center and a lot of that stuff. They didn't throw it, about half as much as we did. But he's, I'm in constant contact with him. In high school, we used to watch film before, high school games. He used to be my main kind of, not my main friend really, that I watched film with, other than teammates. And then, now he'll send a text before games, and I'll call him probably during the week once. And then other than that, he's just, at the end of the games in the crowd, just watching like any other fan. He's probably, missing not being involved as much, but that's what happens when you get on, to college football, and he's not out there. At high school practices, he used to come to all of them.
What was his reaction to that final drive at Duke? And, that was the first time this season you were in a situation like that.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I think one of the first things he said to me was, I think that was one of my first game-winning drives ever. I think something as a parent you remember stuff like that. In high school, at Myers Park Road in the playoffs, I think we were pretty fortunate. I'd play first half and usually we'd be up a good bit. So I think it was just kind of a fun experience to have that chance. Down 3 with a chance to win the game. It's just stuff as a parent, like I said, you remember and you notice that type of stuff that I wouldn't have noticed.
When you reviewed that with Coach Longo, did you guys single that out, the final drive at all, or was, you just reviewed the game and kind of hit the highlights and
Yeah, obviously, I think, watching that final drive was pretty fun, but, we mainly kind of rehashed the stuff I did wrong and the stuff I could have done better. So we just try to, take it the same week, different team, the same week, trying to look at the adjustments and ways it could have played better. So Coach Long does a good job of kind of, the 24-hour rule Coach Brown talks about, rehash it and, enjoy the win and then get back on track.
Well, what, if anything, did you learn about yourself from being in that situation, that pressure situation and coming through?
Yeah, I think the main thing, I was pretty nervous, pretty anxious going that last drive, so I think just knowing that those nerves are a good thing and just, trust all the work I put in and, those moments, in practice, as my time here and the kind of drives at the end of the first half, so those can translate. It's not just, go out there another day of practice, another 1-minute drill, here we go. Those things translate and just kind of don't take it for granted as well. Big kind of, road win, game-winning drive, that stuff's pretty cool.
Josh told us that night at Duke that right before the final drive, he came up to you and said, "You're great, now go be great," or something like that. "You're the greatest, this is what you're built for." Do you remember that at all?
Yeah, I remember it.
Was it just chaotic?
No, Josh is awesome out there. He's always positive, talking teammates up, always kind of making a joke. So he keeps it light, but it's really him making that 4th down catch. So I'm not nothing without that 4th down. I think he juked a double team. So just trying to make a play. That's all we're all trying to do out there, just make plays.
Yeah, we had a good angle on it. It was pretty the way we were sitting.
Yeah.
You talk about the text from your dad, like pregame or night before game, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, does he have a go-to message that he always says? Does he mix it up? Like, is there something he always seems to go back to when he's like giving you like the pep talk or anything?
Yeah, he's always, the only one thing he kind of gets mad at me is watching the play clock. So he said in previous games I've got to let it get down low, and he doesn't think that I'm watching it. And obviously last game I had 2 that were on me. So he'll always say watch the play clock and really just have fun out there. That's the main thing.
In those nail-biting moments, how do you remain so poised? Like, what is going through your mind before the football leaves your hand?
Yeah, I think just confidence, trusting my guys, confidence in film study throughout the week, and just, it's the same throws I'm making over and over. It's just different team out there playing defense, and it's the same guy. So, those routes on air in the summer, that stuff, like I said, it translates. So, the work that you put in, outside, practice, and, it can go a long way.
All right. Thank you, Greg. Appreciate it.